Now at 5, an update on the investigation into the case of a body found along Interstate 44. Plus, what's behind a plan to demolish a number of homes in Fort Scott, Kansas, and
the Federal Reserve makes a major cut to interest rates. I'm Bradley Blackburn on Wall Street, and I'll let you know what it could mean for your budget.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A new development in the investigation of a man found dead near Interstate 44. Authorities now have the car they had sought in that case. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Someone had discovered the body in a ditch along the interstate near Joplin's Prigmore Street exit late Monday afternoon, then notified law officers. Authorities identified the man as 63-year-old Jesse Gilmore from Oklahoma. Investigators had issued a public notice that they were seeking a specific car in connection with that case and gave the car's description and Oklahoma license number. Well, now authorities say they have recovered that car in Independence, Missouri. They're still not giving details on the suspected cause of death or how the car might be connected to the case. Work could begin soon on the demolition of several homes in Fort Scott, Kansas, now that city commissioners have given their approval. Most of the homes being considered for demolition are abandoned or are falling apart. Some city leaders feel these homes bring down the value of surrounding homes.
What we do is, if we see a house that's dilapidating, falling in, we send a letter to the homeowner to basically let them know that they need to bring the house up to codes.
Owners who oppose the demolition of their house will be given a period of time to repair the building, and if they don't, the city could opt to move forward with the demolition process. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
Well, definitely starting to heat up outside for us today. Temperatures right around 88 to about 90 degrees, and that's where we sit right now. 90 in Joplin, 89 in Pittsburgh, even lower 90s once you get into our western counties. So well above average for this time of the year, and it gets even hotter as we go through the next few days. The evening's fine, 80s, 70s, upper 60s. We could get a random shower later on tonight, which would be great. We have just partly cloudy skies out there for us right now, but a few thunderstorms out to our west, so we're going to keep our eyes on that. But pretty quiet as we go into the evening hours, but you can see a few hit and miss showers trying to roll through late tonight into tomorrow morning. Most of you stay dry, but look at these temps, mid-90s for highs on your Thursday. We're going to look into the weekend here in just a bit.
See you soon. The battle over immigration continues to stir the presidential race. Meanwhile, both candidates lost out on the endorsement of a labor group and its more than 1.3 million members. Reporter Skylar Henry has the latest now from the campaign trail.
Vice President Kamala Harris addressed the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Wednesday, criticizing her opponent's plans to deport every immigrant in the U.S. illegally.
How's that going to happen? Massive raids? Massive detention camps? What are they talking about?
Harris said there needs to be a path to citizenship for otherwise law-abiding immigrants.
Understand, we can do both. Create an earned pathway to citizenship and ensure our border is secure. We can do both, and we must do both.
I believe the border is of the greatest interest.
Campaigning in Michigan Tuesday night, former President Donald Trump blamed Harris and Biden for letting migrants into the country.
Remain in Mexico is a very good thing. They couldn't come in. When they got in, they let everybody pour into our country.
Trump used the Michigan stop to court union workers and to unveil what he says would be a 200% tariff on cars imported from Mexico. Trump and Harris had both been fighting to win the endorsement of the Teamsters Union. The union released a poll Wednesday showing nearly 60% of members support endorsing Trump, compared to 34% for Harris, but then issued a statement saying there will be no endorsement. After meeting with Harris Monday, the union president talked about the diverse membership.
We represent everybody from airline pilots to zookeepers, and we don't just represent registered Democrats. We represent registered Republicans and independents, and we have to.
The Teamsters said both candidates gave few commitments on some of its top issues. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Teamsters President Sean O'Brien was the first Teamsters boss to ever address the Republican National Convention when he spoke at the RNC this summer. However, he would later criticize Trump, who applauded firing workers who threatened to go on strike. With the November election less than 2 months away, voters across the 4 states are looking at who the candidates are. But voters aren't necessarily limited to just who's listed on the ballots. They have the option to write in a candidate for an elected position, whether it be local, state, or national. A write-in candidate is someone voters can put down whose name does not appear on a printed ballot. But in states like Missouri and Kansas, people who want to be considered for write-in candidates have to pre-register ahead of the election. Without that, any votes for them don't count.
A lot of people don't understand that if a candidate doesn't certify to the local election authority or the state, that it won't count. It doesn't matter how many votes they get. Even if they win, they would still not receive that victory, that office.
9 states do not allow write-in candidates. Those states include Oklahoma and Arkansas. Still ahead, protecting our kids.
Drowning is the #1 cause of death for kids with autism. I'm Cristian Benavides with how swim instructors are making sure all kids get the training they need.
And later, how today's Fed action concerning interest rates could impact your budget. In today's Health Watch, cancer patients who were overweight when they were first diagnosed are more likely to receive a second cancer diagnosis. That's according to a new study published in JAMA Network. Researchers say overweight cancer survivors face a 15% increased risk for any second cancer, and those considered obese face a 34% increased risk. Drowning is the #1 cause of death for children with autism. It's why swimming lessons can be so important. Reporter Cristian Benavides introduces us to a family that's making sure their child receives this critical instruction.
Parents Jana and Russell D'Agostino worry about their 3-year-old daughter Daniela. Like other kids with autism, she's drawn to bodies of water.
We knew having her learn to swim was critical because I don't know if she's going to jump the pool fence or, God forbid, she gets in and no one's outside, or even worse, gets to the lake.
The D'Agostinos live in Florida, where pools, lakes, and beaches are accessible all year long.
My only hesitation was just if she was going to listen or not.
They enrolled her in swimming lessons that focus on survival skills in the water. Erin Cates is an instructor with the Baby Otter Swim School.
She falls in, she's going to know exactly what to do. She's going to turn around, she's going to turn, kick, and reach, and she's going to get up to that wall, and she's going to hold and wait for us.
The Autism Society of Florida says drowning is the leading cause of death for children on the autism spectrum.
The drowning rate for kids with autism is 160 times greater than other children.
It's in part due to autism elopement, when children run or wander away from caregivers. Most drownings occur in backyard swimming pools, and nearly 1 in 3 parents of a child with autism reports they've had close calls. Mindy York is president of the Baby Otter Swim School.
This is as important as a car seat, and make it a priority.
Kick and reach.
Critical lessons that are saving lives. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Royal Palm Beach, Florida.
The Autism Society says 91% of deaths in children with autism 14 or younger are due to drowning. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Judick from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about overheating signs in your dog.
Plus, our temperatures get even hotter over the next few days. We're going to check that out coming up. Well, of course, it turned out to be a warm/hot day for us today, and it gets even hotter as we go through the next few days. Some cumulus clouds out there throughout the afternoon hours, but overall, it still looks pretty good. A nice shot of our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. That is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, but it looks like it has turned out to be a pretty good afternoon. If you're going to be out this evening, looks okay. We slide back through the 80s, 70s. Into the upper 60s. We could see a random shower late tonight, but most of you will stay dry. So we're first going to focus on the temperatures and some rain chances. Let's go into early tomorrow morning. You can see a couple spotty little showers. Most of you are going to stay dry. Temperatures backing into the upper 60s. Any showers that would develop will be out of here by late morning. As we go into the afternoon, we heat up. Look at this, 91 Nevada, 93 in Anderson, 95 Veneta, and then we have 94 in Fredonia. We'll watch for additional thunderstorms, western counties, to get going tomorrow evening. Hit and miss, so scattered again, not widespread. But some of these storms that do develop could be a little bit on the stronger side. They push east, should get to the state line by tomorrow evening, but again, scattered and then kind of fall apart as they work through. But at least we have some chances to get some showers and thunderstorms in here. By Friday morning, we start into lower 70s and then hot and humid by Friday afternoon, high temps most likely into the upper 90s, which is very atypical for this time of the year. 71 start, 86 by noon, high temp 94 on your Thursday. Heat index is going to be up there a bit, mid to upper 90s to pressing 100 degrees, if not into lower 100s once you get into our western counties. So it does get a little bit on the hot side, also a little breezy over the next couple days. South winds 15 to 20 for us Thursday, and then lasting even into Friday, and then the winds will start to come down just a little bit as we get toward the weekend. All right, outside right now, 86 Monette, 91 in Grove, Pittsburgh 89, 91 Independence. Looks good. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline sitting at 90. South winds at about 10 miles per hour. Humidity has creeped up a bit. We have dew points sitting into the mid 60s. So what that means for you is it feels a little bit on the sticky side outside, but we do just have a few cumulus clouds rotating through. We're going to watch those little thunderstorms that get going out to our west, but we've been mainly dominated by big dome of high pressure. As we get toward the weekend, this system out towards San Francisco will start to affect us at least a little bit. Next couple days, high pressure in charge, few scattered showers, but the heat sticks around. But we're going to watch this as it starts to track in by the weekend, at least give us better chances to get some showers and thunderstorms in here, which we really need. 94 Thursday, 97 on Friday, which is hot, 93 Saturday, 85 Sunday with those scattered thunderstorms. But look at our high temp on Monday, only 78 degrees. So we do cool down early next week.
We are officially moving from summer to fall this weekend, and the weather's going to reflect that.
Yeah.
We need the rain, Doug.
We really need the rain.
Thanks. More and more highway guardrails are failing in crash tests. We're going to explain why just ahead. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Federal Reserve announced today it's cutting interest rates more than many experts predicted. The decision could help people trying to borrow money for a home or a car, but it might take a while to feel the effects. Bradley Blackburn reports from Wall Street.
Now that prices for everyday items are starting to ease, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says it's time to cut interest rates.
This recalibration of our policy stance will help maintain the strength of the economy and the labor market, and will continue to enable further progress on inflation.
The half-point cut moves the benchmark rate from its 23-year high of 5.25% down to 4.75%. The much-anticipated move comes after inflation dropped from a whopping 9.1% in 2022 to just 2.5%. Wall Street is welcoming this large rate cut. Investors are banking it'll give the economy a much-needed boost. Unemployment is on the rise, and higher mortgage rates are pushing up home prices, preventing people like Carl Lamberique from buying.
We placed an offer around the corner from here. We were $24,000 above asking, and we were number 16.
The Fed's decision will bring down borrowing rates, but it might take some time for borrowers to feel the effect, and the initial impact is expected to be small for loans like used cars, which are currently over 11%, and credit card rates, now close to a record high.
What we know is directionally, interest rates will be coming down. What we don't know is how fast that will occur in each category.
The Fed said it envisions additional cuts this year and over the next 2 years. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Now, today's result isn't great news for all savers. The Fed's decision will eventually bring down interest rates on savings accounts, including money markets and CDs. Retail sales ticked up in the U.S. last month. That's according to the U.S. Justice or the Department new test. There was a 1% jump from July to August and a 2.1% increase over last year. The uptick was driven partly by strong online sales. New crash tests of electric vehicles are pointing to an unexpected danger. Guardrails on America's roads are typically tested against vehicles weighing up to 5,000 pounds, but many electric vehicles, they weigh more than that, up to 30% more, and that most guardrails, well, they might not hold up in a collision. Tests show EVs tearing through the guardrail or here essentially lifting a similar barrier and passing below it.
Unfortunately, these guardrail systems, which have performed very well with gasoline vehicles historically, do not appear to be containing electric vehicles when impacting with similar types of conditions.
When you went into this testing, did you expect to see what you saw?
It was eye-opening. There was a lot of damage. And again, if there would have been vehicles on the other side of that barrier, we would have seen a severe accident.
More than 19,000 people died in crashes where their vehicle left the roadway last year. That's nearly half of all traffic deaths. Guardrails and similar roadway barriers are designed to reduce the number and severity of these crashes. Our Pet Vet on Call up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, details of a second wave of deadly explosions in Lebanon, this time targeting walkie-talkies. Then on KOAM News at 6, a closer look at a plan to demolish some homes in Fort Scott and the reasons, plus how Freeman Health System is celebrating dialysis patients. And the Chiefs welcome back running back Kareem Hunt. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. A lot of us are spending more time outdoors this time of year, and although fall officially starts this weekend, we do still have some hot weather ahead of us, as Doug told us. Brings us to today's question for our Pet Vet on Call. I run with my dog. What would be signs that he's overheating?
Wow, because you're concerned about it is enough reason not to take them running with you right now. Overheating, but dogs will run with you until they take their last breath. They will try to keep up with you because they love you, so you have to really watch them. The first signs of heat stress is excessive panting, weakness, ataxia, which will progress into heat stroke, and at that point they are be unconscious, they can have diarrhea, seizures, vomiting. At that point, the heat stroke can be permanent and they can die.
You know, we invite questions from anyone. If you have a question, all you have to do is send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Send it anytime. Dr. Vidudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. Of course, you can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we have an adult female boxer. Her name is Lula. Kind of a sad face on Lula. She's looking for a home. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we have a Husky Labrador Retriever mix. A 4.5-year-old male named Diesel, with quite a tongue on Diesel. They say he loves to play with people and knows how to sit on command. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? It's going to be hot out there, Doug.
Yeah, heating up to about 94 tomorrow, 97 on Friday. Could get a random shower tomorrow morning, a little better chance tomorrow night, but our best chances for rain moving in on Sunday.
Let's hope we all get some.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.